Okay, welcome to part two of getting started on this 1983 Ferrari 308. But before we can actually start taking parts off the car, we got to clean up that mess, so we got a place to put those parts. So I got to run to the store, get some plastic tubs, and we're going to box all that stuff up and get it out in the shed. Okay, ran over to Lowe's real quick, got us some tubs. Now it's time to get the Chevelle out of here and get some work done. Here's something that's kind of cool. The Ferrari won the Best Sports Car, Exotic Car of the 2013 Glow and Show, which is a classic balloon festival. So they fill up balloons. They don't fly them, but they fill them up and light them up at night after the car show. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, there were a lot of cars there. So the Ferrari really stood out at that point, and we got to get her back to that point. So we got to start here. Well, that was a productive day. We got things cleaned up and we're ready to go to work. And now it's tomorrow. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the front trunk here. We're going to take out the spare tire and the enclosure that goes around the spare tire. And we're going to get to where the battery is. Now, I don't have a battery that fits in this car that's a good battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the battery out of my camper to run jumper cables over. I want to be able to put the passenger window down, and we're going to go through and check some of the stuff, make sure, everything's still working electrically, and we're going to go from there. First thing I'm going to do is get some charging going on this battery. I was just using it. It should have some charge, but we're going to get some jumper cables onto it, and we're going to get this thing charged up. Okay, we got this charging. And now let's go dig out the jumper cables out of the camper so we can connect it to the front of the Ferrari. Now we got to take out the spare tire and this enclosure. There's a couple screws. This enclosure comes out, and underneath that is the battery. Actually, there's a cover underneath here. I don't need to remove this, but this is coming out anyways. All this shit's coming out. All right, got the cables. Let's get this stuff out of here. As you can see, you don't need to take this plastic cover off to get to the battery. That's just down here, but I'm taking it all out anyways. You might wonder what that is. That is wiring for the stereo that was added. All right, let's get this thing out of here. Presto, there's the battery. That's not the battery that's supposed to be in the car. That's just a little tiny test battery I put in here for seeing if this thing will come alive. Let's get that out of here. I got a collection of batteries out of the motorcycle. Lord knows what that came from. Old one from the camper. Old one from, I think this is actually the Ferrari battery. I gotta get rid of this shit. Let's see if this thing has any power. Unplug the battery charger. Take that thing off. Grab the jumper cables. On to the positive. And do we have smoke? No. That's definitely good. All right, let's get the keys and let's see if there's any power in this car. All right, in go the keys. Wow, completely lights up. Everything is definitely awake. That's good. Oh, we got headlights. That's good, lots of power. Okay, that's definitely good. Can we put this window down? That was the whole point of this. And in typical Ferrari fashion, barely. I'm gonna have to press that down while I'm pressing the button. Hang on. There she goes. Just needed a help. And this one's already down. Go up a little bit. All right, she's alive. How about the mirrors? Whoops, that mirror. Mirrors work. Switch to this side. Mirrors work. Nice. All right. Well, that's a good step. Hey, does the antenna go up? The antenna does go up. And it goes down. All right. Well, that's a step in the right direction. Cool. That's all we needed. Window down. Next. Okay, so the next step is to get the coolant out of the radiator and out of the entire system. So I had this radiator done, 10 years ago. I took it out, took it to a place, got it done. When it went back in with fresh coolant and distilled water. Radiator hoses are brand new still looking really good. So let's see what that coolant looks like. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is remove this access panel. Looks like 10 millimeter. Okay, we got access, and we got all new rubber hoses from its last service, which is good. All new clamps, even though over there all new. So I don't remember if there's a drain plug on this or if we're just going to pull this hose right here, which is something we might just do. It's a proportioning valve for the brakes. Looks like the brake switch possibly for the brake lights. Alright, let's get to draining. A lot of times when I'm working on something I know is going to be apart for a long time, I will put all the screws back in just so they don't get lost. I will be bagging and labeling stuff, but in these simple situations I can just put them back and then I'll know exactly where they go. Alright, we're going to take the radiator cap off here. Let air come through. Is there anything in there? Yes, it's full. And it's green and clean. Alright, we'll do that so air can come through the whole system. This is definitely the lowest point in the car, right there. And that's what we saw underneath. Let me get some light. Right there. That's what we saw underneath. And that's the lowest point in the car. So when I pull that one small hose off, this thing should drain completely right there. Hey, I just want to take a quick second to say, if you like projects like this and you would really like to help out, what you can do is click the link down below for possibly picking up a t-shirt. There's all kinds of designs down there. You can support it. And click the like and subscribe button, because any of that boosts the algorithm to YouTube, gets more notice, more subscribers. It's all free. Check it out. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you. Back to the video. Put my rag over here.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, okay. Fucking hose me hard. Well, that was a bath in coolant. The hose completely missed the entire holding tank that I was trying to dump it into and poured all over me instead. Completely all over down my chest, all over the front of me, all over my clothes, all over my shoes. So I had to stop, take a quick shower, rinse out all my clothes. They're now in the washing machine. All right, let's get back to work. So some of the things that we're going to be doing while we're working on this car is replacing all of these rubber hoses. These are definitely the originals. This is definitely original. That is a vacuum hose. Definitely original. Yeah, these things need to be done. Now these are kind of the Achilles heel of this car, because this is a rubber line, and I'm almost certain that that thing goes, if I'm correct, that goes all the way to the rear of the car, because obviously the engine heats the coolant, and this is the heater, and that's heated by hot water out of the engine. So these rubber hoses, this one and there's another one over there, run all the way to the rear of the car, and those are original hoses. That's something you're not going to fix on the side of the road. All these are rubber hoses that are part of the heater system, and all this needs to be done. We're going to replace all these clamps and get all this stuff done. Now these may have been done at some point in its past, but I can tell that that's an old, that hose is super hard and it's swollen, so we're going to be doing all of that stuff. Also, regarding the air conditioning in this car, all of these cars of this era, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Pantera, all of that stuff had just anemic air conditioning. Anemic if you're lucky. And this car, when I got it, the air conditioning was working, and it was, a candle in the wind. It barely put out anything. With this giant windshield, it's just not enough to overcome the greenhouse on it. And there is a company that does make a aftermarket system for this car. It isn't cheap, but in order to replace it, the windshield has to come out. Now, the windshield on this car does need to be replaced. It's got a crack in it somewhere around here, unless it's repaired itself over the years. I have a windshield I brought back with me from Italy, so I have a brand new windshield to go in it. So we might be putting a windshield in this car, and we might be doing air conditioning in this car and just upgrade it. Now here's a question I'd like to ask the comments section. Has anybody ever heard of anybody taking a modern electric air conditioning system and putting it into a classic car? Because that's something I would really be interested in, because the work necessary to convert this, getting the air conditioning into the engine compartment is not easy. The air conditioning compressor is way down there in the bottom. Can't even see it. It runs a Chrysler air conditioning pump that's got to pull 5 horsepower the second you turn it on, and you can feel it. Is anybody running maybe a Honda pump? Are they able to get it to line up with the belts? That is a question I would really be interested in. Maybe not replacing everything under the dash, but just replacing the pump. Definitely interested in that. Well, that's it for this episode. It doesn't seem like we got a lot done on the car, but we did get a lot of stuff done that needed to be done, like cleaning up the garage. We got the coolant out of the car, or most of it on me. Next up, we're going to get the gasoline out of the car, but that's for the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. Maybe consider picking up a t-shirt. Anything helps for this. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.